Welcome back, and joining us on the show now is Naveen Mathur. He is Director at Commodities and Currencies at Anand Rathi. Naveen, hi. Wishing you a very, very happy and prosperous 2025. First day of the year. We do understand that many of the countries are still celebrating and the volumes are on the lower side. But even with that, there are some cues that we are seeing in many of these commodities here. I'll start with the crude oil prices, and we've seen 2 years of negative returns. But this year, we've started slightly on a positive note, and that's on the back of stronger data coming in from China in sense of PMI and factory orders. How are you looking at 2025 panning out when it comes to crude oil?
Thank you very much, Manisha. Wishing you, the entire crew of CNBC, a very happy new year, and to all the viewers who are there on this show. It's been a very great year for commodities, I would say, particularly for bullion, and not that for the crude and the natural gas. Natural gas has been one of the largest return-generated commodity in 2024. Speaking about crude oil, the kind of range-bound movement which we have seen, we did saw markets going back to around 71. They touched even $88, $85 levels in the middle of the year because of the geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. So largely, the crude oil prices, what we expect would be in the range of 70 to 75. I'm talking about the WTI contract, Manisha. In 24, we did saw around 3% of decline in the crude oil, and it's a continuous decline for the last 2 years, 2023 also and 2024. There would be stimulus coming in from China, which may be positive for the metal packs, including the industrial metals and the energy markets. But I would say that the crude oil in international markets, particularly the WTI, would be in the range of around 76 on the higher side and 70, 71 on the downside. So we are currently at around $72 level, 71.72 to be more precise.
All right, so a range-bound trend will continue for the crude oil prices with slight upsides that you can expect onto this one. But yes, the year totally belonged to gold and silver, where we did see all-time highs. And while gold put in the best performance on a yearly basis since 2010, it was the best year for silver as well since 2020. When you look at gold and silver, where is it that you would want to put in more investment for the year 2025?
Manisha, I think the gold and silver has been one of the best of the commodities, I would say. The gold has given returns to an extent of around 27%, if you talk about in the dollar terms, and in Indian markets, about 21 to 22% in rupee terms. Even the silver has given around 21.5% returns for the spot silver in dollar terms, and Indian markets around 17-18%. So overall trend still remains positive. I would say, for the next year, not kind of returns which we have seen over the last year. Couple of factors, the China demand, as you rightly mentioned. So the upside, we have seen new multiple highs, all-time highs in gold in the last year, 2024. Approximately 38, 39 times what I understand. The gold prices have touched an all-time high. The highest was $2,790 on the 28th of October. So Indian markets also did saw silver touching a lakh plus per kg. So I think the markets would be pretty much range bound. Kind of a little decline we may see because of the dollar appreciation. And we did saw that current prices are at around 2,624. In international space, and in Indian markets too, we are seeing around 76,800 levels on the MCX. So overall trend in terms of dollar, if you really ask me, would be 2,550, 2,500 on the downside, and 2,700 or 650 on the upside. Would be range bound for the next quarter, but we might see a positive pull out on gold, which might take the prices to an extent of 28.50 or so. That's the highest, but nothing beyond those numbers, what we see as of now for gold. And even for silver, we did saw $31 levels, $35 levels in October. The highest has been April 2021, when it did touched 49 plus dollar levels. And Indian markets, as I said, 1 lakh. So overall, 89 to 90,000 levels for silver in quarter one. And for gold, as I mentioned, around 78, 79,000 for quarter one. The only thing positive for the Indian gold prices is the rupee depreciation.
Perhaps rupee depreciation. Oh, yes.
And therefore 77 or so odd figure for gold for the first quarter of this year.
Naveen, thank you so much for that. We've noted all of those levels there. So some bit of a range-bound trend is what you could see in case of crude oil prices. Gold and silver still a buy. But, well, yes, $3,000 an ounce, perhaps not a possibility is what Naveen thinks. Well,